0-2 start, just like the 2019 season. Is there anything you can draw on from that season that can help you get your staff and your kids prepared for what has to happen over the next 9 weeks?
Yeah, we just got to realize the sun did come up the next day. We got to get better as a team, offensively, defensively, special teams wise, and control the things that we could control. And we got a great group of kids. I know they're going to come work hard every single day, do the things that we ask them to do. I know they're going to prepare, and they're going to learn from each one of these games. Especially this group. They're a good group, and they want to get better and they want to improve. And so there's no doubt in my mind these kids are going to get better this week and get ready for Lincoln and move forward. It's not that you put those games behind you, but you kind of have to. But you still got to learn from the mistakes that you made and improve upon them and get better. And I think each group's different. That group was 2018, I believe, as you said, 2019 group, and they bounced back and did some good things. I think this group will do the same exact thing, and if we do get into the playoffs with just us playing better here through the last part of the season.
A little bit of an extended time between games because of the Thursday to Saturday. What was the plan with those couple extra days?
Just give them a few days off, just to kind of get their bodies back in order and get some treatments and just kind of take their mind off the game for a little bit. And sometimes that's good for them, especially when you have the gruesome schedule that we have, year in and year out. Just having that extra day just to kind of regroup and refresh and get their minds right and just kind of get away from it and, come back to work on Monday like we did yesterday and, get back to work today. And that's what those kids are doing right now is preparing themselves for this next game.
I guess with all due respect to your two opponents, it feels like the two losses could be attributed to mistakes you guys have made, and if you'd have played cleaner games, you could be 2-0. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's things on both sides of the ball and special teams that if we clean those things up, we probably win both those ball games, but we didn't, and those are the things that we have to reflect on and things that we have to do to make sure that doesn't happen again. And it's a learning experience. We haven't played in almost 2 years, and it's. We got different guys at different positions, and we have guys that have never played a down of football for us, and they're just now getting their first experience, and they're only going to get better as the year goes on, and I see that happening right now with this group of kids. Just sometimes losses are good; it brings you closer, or it can tear you apart. Hopefully these two losses here bring our team closer together and realize what's important, and they get focused and get on the right track. These next few weeks. So we'll see what happens. But I have all the faith in the world in them, and I know they're going to get it done.
Is Chance trying too hard sometimes to make plays and settling the game come to him?
I think it's the whole. It's everything. It's just not one person, not doing their job. Sometimes the line's not protecting. Sometimes receivers aren't running the right route. Sometimes it's Chance, throwing the wrong ball. And that's, it's just us getting on the same page and get everything back in order. And, hopefully these next 2 weeks we can do that, or even right now this week, we need to get that taken care of. And you just can't point your finger at one person. I mean, he's a great football player. We have great receivers. We've got great tight ends. We've got a great offensive line. It's just putting all those pieces to the puzzle together. And, hopefully, this week that happens.
How do you go about building that sync, chemistry, whatever it is, like you said this week? Is that magic potion?
You always try to keep guys, healthy, because, depth at our level is not real high. You got certain guys that you count on, and, sometimes you let some guys get out some things in practice that probably, just that they normally do. But right now, what do we have to lose? And we have to win these next 9 games to have an opportunity to get to the playoffs, and so we need everybody at their full best. But to do that, you got to be in practice as well. So that might have a little bit to do it. We've had some guys out of practice for a little bit here and there, just doing minimal things. But we're going to amp those guys back up this week and make sure they're getting their full reps and getting themselves ready.
You referenced the number of guys who are new to football games at this level. So how important has been or will be the juniors and seniors who have been through this before, have been through these games, their leadership?
It's really very important, and that's something that we need to have step up a little bit more, especially right now in these times of not letting this team fall apart. You could do so much as coaches, but it really goes to your juniors and your seniors of making sure these kids stay together, they stay focused. don't think this season is a wash already because there's still a lot of season to play. Still being there for one another, supporting one another, and holding each other accountable in everything that we do, whether it's the classroom, whether it's the weight room, whether it's practice, whether it's our social life, then making sure those kids do things the right way and staying locked in, because we can still have a great season. These 2 games right there don't define our season, and we still have a lot to play for. And if we do the things that we're supposed to do, we could win 9 games in a row. I truly believe that, but we got to win this first one first.
Offensive line, we've talked a lot about the new faces, and we had a different starting lineup. You feel good about how they played, or how did they do in that game last week?
At times they look really good, and it's still just, trying to fix some of these little mistakes, mental mistakes that are hurting us right now, especially in our run game. If we get those cleaned up, I really think our run game could be very strong. But again, it's, when you look at it right now, Amari has a lot of playing time, and Pat Kelly has a lot of playing time across the O-line. And you got some guys that don't, like Tully hasn't played a lot for us, Tyler hasn't played a lot, David Anderton, Gossage, Keon. There's a lot of them with Chris and all those guys. They haven't played a lot of ball with us, and that offensive line, it has to be in sync, and it's hard to be in sync when you haven't played together a long time, just because of the communication and everything that's going on, and sometimes it's just a feel, of when to come off a block and get to the next level. So it takes time, but every day they're working to get better, and they're going to continue to do that. And Coach Bryant's going to do a good job with them and make sure they know exactly what's going on, and making sure they're getting their ID right, so they know who they're supposed to block. So, I still got the confidence in them. I know they're going to do a good job, and it's just one of those positions. It takes a while to get it done, just like your quarterbacks and wide receivers. It takes a while to get that timing down, and it's just something that it's a process, and it's just those kids believing in the process and understanding it and getting the job done.
With the quarterback and receivers, is it seeing the same thing and making the right reads on that? Is that the biggest thing you need right now?
I think so, and it's just really it's probably more timing than anything else. I think that's the main thing. Just us as coaches trying to keep these kids out of practice and keep them healthy, because we want them for game day as well, because those games are very important. Giving them limited reps just to make sure that that they are healthy for the game that we had on Thursday, and so just gotta get back to the thing where those guys are going every rep in practice that they can to get that timing down. So but again, it's just us, because of depth purposes, you got to take care of those kids and make sure they're healthy. So that's something that like I said, what do we have to lose right now? We're 0-2, and we need to win out, so we got to do everything we can to possibly win every game.
It's a bit of a somber mood with 2 close losses at the beginning of the season, it kind of seems. But 8 years ago, or towards the beginning of your tenure, 2 close losses to those 2 teams would have been almost a cause for celebration. Expectations weigh a lot into what the feeling is, it seems.
It is. We expect to win every game, but we have to understand that it's not going to be given to us, so we got to do everything in preparation to win every ball game. And you don't know if we've quite done that yet, as a team. And I think if we really focus in on those things that are going to make us better, as players and as a team, we need to do those things, whether it's watching film or the way we practice or the things that we do, outside of football, that's going to benefit our program. But you're right, when I first got here, the expectations weren't real high, but now it's, we expect to win ball games, we expect to win conference championships, and we expect to be in the playoffs. That's just kind of expected. And when you have 2 close losses, it hurts. When I first got here, like you said, it was, we kept it close. We almost had them. But now it's one of those points where, you watch that film and if you would have done a few things differently, you win both those ball games. So that's the kind of culture you want, though, right? A culture that expects to win, and a culture that when you do lose, it hurts, and a culture that is going to bounce back and do everything they can to win these next 9 games.
Talk about preparing for a team that hasn't played in 2+ weeks.
It's hard to really get film evaluation on them, because we really haven't played for 2 years, and we got 1 film, and that's them versus Washburn, and that's what we have to look at. And there's probably 50 plays on offense and 60 plays on defense to really grasp and see what they're doing, offensively and defensively. So it's kind of hard to tell exactly what they're going to do to us, in either situation. Have they changed their offense the last few weeks? Have they changed the way their defense plays the last few weeks as well? So that's something that we have to be prepared for and be able to adjust on the run, through the game. So our kids got to be in tune with what we're doing and really just worrying about ourselves and understanding our game plans and how we play, offensively, defensively, and special teams wise, and how we're going to do things and how we're going to get better, and understanding our rules, whether it's a coverage rule or a blocking scheme rule, understand our rules and who we're supposed to get to and what we're supposed to do. If we do those things, I think we'll be just fine.
Talk about the running back, Frank, a little bit. What makes him so good? I can't believe he's rushing 2 years ago.
He's just special. He's patient. He's got good speed. He's a strong kid. He sees the holes very well. He's just one of those kids that he's a competitor. And, whether they're winning or losing, he's going to compete to win every single play. And that's just something he does. He plays hard, every single play. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. I mean, he's got it all. He's the full package. And, he's a great kid. You can tell just by his demeanor and the way he plays the game that he practices hard as well. And I'm sure he's the guy on their team that's one of their best leaders. And he's going to be a kid that we have to gang tackle. We have to wrap up and run our feet through, and you've got to take great angles. If not, he's a kid that can win a ball game by himself.